In a moment that instantly captured the hearts of a nation, King Frederik of Denmark stepped forward, his voice calm yet filled with purpose, standing before a sea of microphones and flashing cameras in the heart of Copenhagen. The scene was set outside the historic walls of the Danish capital's central city hall, a place steeped in legacy and symbolism, fitting for a declaration that would deeply resonate with millions. With the air heavy with anticipation, reporters leaned in, the public held its breath, and the world listened. King Frederik, now standing tall as Denmark's head of state, looked resolute as he delivered the news that had hovered on everyone's lips: Queen Margrethe's health is stable and she is in good hands. This revelation did more than just ease public fears. It struck an emotional chord that reminded the Danish people, and the world, of the quiet strength behind the royal family. After decades on the throne, Queen Margrethe, beloved for her wisdom, artistic soul, and unwavering dedication to the Danish people, had become more than just a monarch. She was a symbol of continuity in an ever-changing world. So, to hear her son, now King Frederik X, share such a deeply personal update on her well-being was nothing short of profound. The Queen, who recently celebrated a historic reign before abdicating the throne in a surprising and emotional New Year's address, had left her people with admiration and deep concern. Her graceful step down made headlines across the globe. Yet behind the scenes, questions loomed. How was her health? Was her abdication solely due to age and duty, or was something more serious unfolding? King Frederik's recent statement didn't just answer these questions. It painted a picture of a royal family navigating one of its most delicate transitions with poise, unity, and remarkable transparency. King Frederik, whose ascension has been met with both celebration and scrutiny, has been juggling the complexities of kingship with a sense of calm assurance. His wife, Queen Mary, continues to stand beside him as a steadfast symbol of modern monarchy, merging tradition with contemporary values. And yet, amidst royal duties, official engagements, and public expectations, there is the quieter, more intimate challenge of supporting his mother through health complications that have remained largely private, until now. When King Frederik addressed the crowd and reassured them that Queen Margrethe was in good hands, it carried weight beyond its words. These were not merely public relations talking points. They were the heartfelt affirmations of a son who has stepped into the spotlight while ensuring the matriarch of his family remains respected, protected, and cherished. Sources close to the royal household have confirmed that the Queen is surrounded by top-tier medical experts and remains under close observation, yet her spirit, ever vibrant, is reportedly unchanged. She has even resumed some level of private engagements, a subtle yet powerful sign of resilience. Copenhagen, that charming capital of canals, copper rooftops, and a people who pride themselves on a deep connection to their monarchy, has become the emotional backdrop of this unfolding royal chapter. The public, long accustomed to seeing Queen Margrethe waving from balconies, attending cultural events, and engaging in candid conversations with artists and scholars, has found new solace in seeing King Frederik stepping up, not just as a ruler, but as a compassionate son. The visual of him standing in the capital, flanked by royal advisors and palace staff, addressing the nation with candor, was a cinematic moment of unity, continuity, and hope. While much of the global press has focused on the grandeur of royal ceremonies and the fashion of Queen Mary, this moment has cast the spotlight inward, onto the emotional heartbeat of the Danish royal family. Behind every crown is a human story, and behind the House of Glucksburg is a family navigating change not with spectacle, but with solemn grace. It's worth remembering that Queen Margrethe is no stranger to adversity. Having taken the throne in 1972 following the death of her father, King Frederik IX, she faced early doubts and immense pressure. Over the decades, she transformed the Danish monarchy into one of Europe's most respected institutions, balancing pageantry with accessibility, intellect with warmth. Her background in archaeology, her passion for art and design, and her fluency in several languages earned her a reputation far beyond her borders. So when news of her declining health first surfaced, it wasn't just a monarch's future that was being discussed, it was the legacy of a cultural icon. King Frederik's update has also spurred new reflections on the future of the monarchy. While Queen Margrethe recovers, she is reportedly still lending her counsel to her son, offering insights shaped by over 5 decades on the throne. This intergenerational collaboration is not only rare but refreshingly democratic in tone. It signals a monarchy that respects wisdom while embracing change. Meanwhile, Queen Mary, born in Australia and now firmly rooted as a modern European royal, continues her public engagements with strength and empathy. She recently made appearances at several children's charities and environmental forums, subtly reinforcing the royal family's dedication to societal progress. But even as she moves forward, all eyes remain on how the family supports Queen Margrethe, and how her quiet presence continues to guide their every step. Within palace walls, it's said that the Queen remains engaged with correspondence, daily briefings, and selective involvement in cultural affairs. Staff report that her humor remains intact, her attention to detail as sharp as ever, and her love for storytelling remains a daily delight to those around her. These glimpses of her current life, though rare, have sparked a wave of affection across Denmark and the broader Scandinavian region. Royal watchers and citizens alike have taken to social media, expressing relief, gratitude, and admiration for both mother and son. Messages of love for Queen Margrethe have flooded timelines, with hashtags like #LongLiveTheQueen and #ThankYouMargrethe trending in Denmark. At the same time, praise for King Frederik's composure and communication style has grown, marking his reign with a public trust that many new monarchs struggle to secure. In a world increasingly divided by politics and ideologies, this display of unity, care, and quiet leadership stands out. The Danish royal family isn't simply living through a transition, it is defining a new era, one rooted in empathy, service, and dignity. And while there remains curiosity, even concern, about what lies ahead for Queen Margrethe, her continued presence in the narrative is both reassuring and empowering. As the king concluded his brief but impactful statement in Copenhagen, there was a palpable sense of connection in the air. This wasn't just a news bulletin, it was a shared moment between royalty and the people. A reaffirmation that, despite titles and crowns, they are bound by the same emotions, fears, and hopes that connect all families. The scene was quiet, respectful, and moving. Then, almost instinctively, the crowd erupted in warm applause, not out of ceremony, but out of sheer affection. In the days that followed, flags flew gently across Copenhagen's rooftops, not at half-mast but proudly waving in honor of strength, stability, and solidarity. Queen Margrethe, though absent from public view, remained at the forefront of the nation's thoughts. Her legacy continues not only through her children and grandchildren but through every life she touched with her grace, humor, and enduring presence. King Frederik has shown the world what it means to lead with compassion. He has turned a moment of potential uncertainty into one of profound reassurance. And as Denmark moves forward under his reign, it does so with a monarch who speaks not only from a place of duty but from the depths of the heart. Yet across Denmark, and indeed the broader Scandinavian landscape, his words continued to ripple outward, inspiring waves of thought, speculation, and emotion. It wasn't just that the king had spoken, it was how he had spoken. With every syllable, he bridged the old and the new, the personal and the national, the sacred and the everyday. His composure was that of a son who loves his mother deeply, yet his delivery was that of a monarch committed to his people. It was a masterclass in modern royal communication, and it has already begun to reshape the perception of monarchy in the 21st century. From the academic halls of Aarhus to the artistic enclaves of Odense, conversations are swirling, not just about Queen Margrethe's current condition but about her incredible contribution to Denmark's cultural fabric. She is not a queen in name only, she is an architect of identity. A woman who, over the decades, has woven her artistic soul into the very tapestry of Danish life. Museums bear her design work. Ballets have featured her stage sets. Literary works have been translated under her guidance. Her reign has been about more than tradition, it's been about transformation. Her health may now be a concern, but her influence remains untouchable. And this, perhaps, is what makes King Frederik's reassurance so powerful. In acknowledging her health publicly, he did not diminish her legacy. On the contrary, he amplified it. He reminded Denmark that even legends are human, and that acknowledging vulnerability is not a sign of weakness but of immense strength. The Queen may be out of the public eye for now, but in many ways, she has never been more present in the consciousness of her people. Indeed, her health update has prompted a national wave of storytelling. Families are revisiting their fondest memories of Queen Margrethe, from waving at her during Jubilee parades, to spotting her quietly sketching at art festivals, to listening to her New Year's speeches that became an annual tradition in households across the kingdom. Social media has become a digital shrine to her legacy, filled with videos, artwork, handwritten letters, and even tributes from children who have never known a Denmark without her. For the younger generation, Queen Margrethe has always been a figure of strength and eccentric charm. They admire her cigarette-wielding frankness in earlier decades, her love for costumes and folklore, and the way she's blended royal elegance with a touch of rebellion. They see in her a monarch who never tried to be perfect, but who was always unapologetically herself. Now, as her health stabilizes and she begins limited engagements again, there is a fresh appreciation for the depth of her service and the vibrancy of her spirit. Meanwhile, King Frederik's popularity continues to surge. In public opinion polls conducted shortly after his address, approval ratings have skyrocketed, especially among middle-aged and younger Danes. Analysts point to his authenticity and calm presence as central to this growing admiration. He has not rushed to reinvent the monarchy, but instead has chosen to honor its past while slowly, methodically modernizing its future. He speaks less often than some royals in other countries, but when he does, it matters. And this recent update on his mother's health has shown that he understands the deep emotional bond between the crown and the people. Internationally, European royal watchers and historians are beginning to draw comparisons between Denmark's seamless transition and the often rockier successions in other monarchies. Some even cite Denmark's royal family as a case study in stability and grace, particularly during moments of uncertainty. In British, Dutch, and Swedish tabloids, the coverage of King Frederik's address has been overwhelmingly positive, praising both the content and the conduct of the Danish crown. Inside Amalienborg Palace, the epicenter of royal life, preparations are underway for upcoming royal responsibilities, yet all with an eye on Queen Margrethe's health. Palace insiders report that a special suite has been adapted for her continued care and recovery. Private nurses, close aides, and trusted advisors rotate discreetly in and out of her residence, ensuring she receives not only the best medical care but the warmth of familiar faces. Her daily routine, while significantly reduced, still includes time spent reading, listening to classical music, and reviewing personal correspondence. Interestingly, it has been revealed that the Queen continues to play a role in royal decision-making. Though she no longer wears the crown, her counsel is frequently sought. It is said that King Frederik consults her on sensitive diplomatic matters, especially those involving long-standing cultural relationships that only she has nurtured over the years. In essence, though the royal titles have shifted, the heartbeat of the institution remains intergenerational, guided by experience, energized by renewal. Queen Mary's role in all of this cannot be overstated. As consort to the new king, she has seamlessly stepped into an expanded role, not only representing the royal family at public functions but acting as an emotional anchor for her husband. Her recent appearances at hospital charities and women's advocacy events have taken on new resonance in light of Queen Margrethe's condition. To the public, Queen Mary represents a bridge between cultures, between traditions, and now, between generations. Her visibility during this delicate period has reassured the public that the royal household remains strong, unified, and future-focused. Beyond the palace walls, Denmark itself is evolving. The Queen's health scare has reignited national discussions around healthcare, elder care, and the role of aging public figures. In Parliament, there have been renewed debates about expanding funding for royal historical preservation, acknowledging that Queen Margrethe's legacy is one that deserves meticulous protection. Universities have seen spikes in interest for lectures about royal history and governance. Bookstores have reported surging sales of biographies and memoirs related to the Queen. Art schools are revisiting her designs in lectures, exploring how a monarch could also be a muse. Children in schools across the nation have written cards and drawings, many of which have been delivered to the palace gates. Some feature stick figures of the Queen wearing a crown and waving, others are more sophisticated, showing her iconic spectacles and elegant posture, surrounded by hearts and words like, "Talk for alt, thank you for everything." These are not just artistic expressions, they are national love letters. Among the Danish diaspora, particularly in Australia where Queen Mary was born, there has been a notable uptick in interest surrounding the Danish royal family. News outlets in Sydney and Melbourne have broadcast special features on Queen Margrethe's health and King Frederik's speech. For many Australians, Queen Mary is a source of national pride, and her dignified handling of this transitional moment has only deepened admiration. Cultural institutions in Denmark are also responding to the Queen's ongoing recovery. Plans are underway for a retrospective exhibition highlighting her artwork, design projects, and lesser-known contributions to Danish architecture and theatre. This upcoming celebration of her life and influence will serve not just as a tribute, but as a cultural archive, a way of ensuring her legacy continues to inspire future generations. The economic impact of the royal family's stable presence cannot be overlooked either. Tourism agencies have noted a renewed interest in royal-related sites, from Christiansborg Palace to the Queen's beloved Fredensborg residence. Visitors from all over the world are expressing a desire to see the places that shaped, and were shaped by, Queen Margrethe. This gentle royal resurgence is not accidental, it's a direct result of the emotional resonance sparked by King Frederik's public message. As Queen Margrethe continues her recovery and King Frederik grows into his role, there remains a shared national understanding that Denmark stands at a historic crossroads. Not a crisis, but a passage. One where the past and present embrace, and where dignity, duty, and love converge. The monarchy's value today lies not in its ceremonial grandeur, but in its humanity, its ability to reflect the strengths and sorrows of the people it represents. What began as a simple health update has now become a national moment of introspection and unity. A reminder that monarchs, like all of us, face health challenges, aging, and the slow surrender of physical strength. Yet it is in how they respond, and how they are supported, that their legacy truly crystallizes. Queen Margrethe, ever the dignified sovereign, remains a beacon of resilience. King Frederik, calm and compassionate, has stepped forward not to replace her, but to honor her. And Queen Mary, elegant and empathetic, embodies the future of the monarchy in a way that ensures it remains both relevant and revered. So, dear viewer, as you look at the story of Denmark's royal family, their love, their trials, their strength, what legacy do you believe Queen Margrethe will ultimately leave behind for generations to come? Don't forget to like, share, comment, and most importantly subscribe for more exclusive, heartfelt updates from the royal world and beyond.